Hello, I'm Steve Horwitz. I'm the instructor for this section of Econ 202, and welcome to the course. What I'm going to do in this video is just sort of explain the course requirements. It's more or less everything that's in the syllabus with a few other things added for explanatory purposes. This, if you're watching this and you've not read the syllabus yet, you might want to pause and go read the syllabus first and then watch this, or you can read it after, either way. But this is really meant to be a complement to the syllabus. Let me start by talking about why this course is online, because it's important to understanding elements of the experience that you're going to have this semester. The reason I'm teaching online is because in November of 2017, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a plasma cancer. It's treatable, obviously. I'm here. It's 2+ years later, and I'm able to do this and all kinds of other things. It's not curable, and it does require that I go in for various forms of treatment on a regular basis, and sometimes I know what that's going to be like and sometimes I don't, and so having me teach in person would be really challenging, both because I would have to miss time for treatment, and the treatment itself weakens me and makes it hard for me to get to campus and do those things in person. So we're doing this online. And my hope is that there will be times this semester that I'll be able to have in-person office hours and be around. There should be, but I also know that I'll be under treatment again of some sort, and it's not clear what at this point, which is also important to note. I'm recording this on January 2nd. When I know more about that, I'll let you know. But in any case, what I will try to do is let you know sort of week to week when I'm going to be on campus and available for office hours if you want to come in person. What I will say is if you want to chat, there are alternatives. I'm happy to do Skype. I'm happy to do Google Hangouts. I can't do FaceTime. I'm not an Apple guy. And obviously, email is the best way to stay in touch with me. I answer email quickly as I can. I'll say a little bit more about that later in the video, but there are plenty of ways to stay in touch with me. And I will have some in-person office hours. I just can't say when or which days or which weeks. More about that as things go on. Again, if you haven't read the syllabus, please do when you're done watching this. There is only one textbook for the course. That's Cowan and Tabarrok's book, which is called Modern Principles of Macroeconomics. Fourth edition, please make sure you get the fourth edition. This is a very common textbook. It's easy to find. A used version is great, but the fourth edition is important. That's the one we'll be using. Electronic versions are fine, with one exception. Do not buy the Kindle version because it blows up all the graphs and you'll be missing some of the most important stuff in the course. But the typical electronic versions are fine. Again, this has all the bells and whistles that all the new textbooks have, so it shouldn't be a problem to find. That's the only thing you need to buy for the course. That's the only textbook. Let me explain a little bit about how the course is organized. If you're already in Canvas watching this, you've perhaps seen it, but it's worth an explanation. Essentially, each week of our 15 weeks together is a new Canvas module. Most of those weeks cover one chapter from the book. A few of them cover two, like this first one, that I've combined the first and second chapter. So every Monday morning, those are set every Monday morning to open up at 8 o'clock. So on Monday the 6th at 8 o'clock, the chapter 1, 2, the first week will open up, and you'll access all that material. In there, every week, you will find what chapter you're supposed to read, or chapters, and you should do that first. The very first thing you should do every week is to read the chapters. There's also then a PowerPoint. These are the PowerPoints that come with the textbook. They are a sort of walk through the chapter in a more detailed way. I think they're really valuable. So please make use of those as well. And it doesn't hurt to sort of keep those open while you're reading the chapter, or do them just after having read the chapter, because there are some sort of quiz-like questions in there that are good to know about. In addition to that, every module has one, maybe two videos from me, like this, where I'm doing exactly what I'm doing right now, sitting at my desk. The big difference may be I have a different pair of glasses and a beard, but it's me, and sort of talking through what I think are some of the most difficult parts of the chapter, or each chapter, or the parts that would benefit most from my explanation. I sometimes have a little whiteboard I use as well. So Those are really important to watch. I think they're really helpful in understanding some of the more difficult material. You can watch with the PowerPoint or the chapter open. I think that's a good idea. Almost every week has some supplemental videos or readings that address particular things that come up in those chapters. You should watch those. Judging by sort of some student comments from last semester, they were very, very helpful. In addition to that, there's a small number, like 2 or 3 weeks, that have some optional sort of worksheet type things that you can do to practice supply and demand and things like that. So you should look for those as well. And then finally, every week there is an expectation every week of 2 things. One, there are 3 homework questions each week, which are required for you to do. You turn those in via Canvas. There'll be a part of the module will have that set up, so you can turn those in through Canvas. And then, in addition, each week there'll be a Canvas discussion forum, which you are required to participate in as well. I'll just say a couple quick things about those. The homework is due every Sunday at 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock on Sunday, the answers to the homework will appear on Canvas, and you'll get those homework with a grade back from me sometime over the next few days. After that, same thing with the discussion forum. You're expected to do that by Sunday, 4 o'clock. And I will grade those, give you a 1, 2, 3 grade on those. Same with the homework, 1, 2, 3 grade on those as quickly as I can after those close. The expectation on the discussion forum is that you will address the question that is posed to you. I always pose a question or 2 every week, address those. But you should also feel free to respond to the question or to the answers and the comments that other people make. The more you participate and the more that your participation is quality participation on those discussion boards, the higher the grade that you'll get. For both the discussion boards and the homework, the way I grade those is the following: 15 weeks, 15 opportunities to get 3 points. So that's sort of maximum 45 points you can get in each of those. But when I grade them, I actually divide them by 36. And one way of thinking about that is it means you could take 3 weeks off if you wanted to and still get 100% on that assignment. So if you do more than 12 weeks, if you post every week, if you do every homework, you can get a grade of over 100 on those. And I think that's an easy way to earn what amounts to extra credit in the course. So you can take 3 weeks off if you want, still get 100, but you can also do more than 12 weeks and get bonus points on your grade. So I hope that's clear. It's a way to earn some extra credit in the course. So those are the things that you'll see every week pop up when you open those modules. What chapters to read, PowerPoints for those chapters, my videos for those chapters, supplemental videos for those chapters, the required homework, required discussion forum, and then sometimes an optional worksheet or 2 for you to practice on. As that last discussion suggests, I should probably say a few things about grades in the course. There are 4 things you'll be graded on, or 4 kinds of things. There will be 3 in-semester exams covering roughly 4 chapters, 5 chapters each. It's on the syllabus, those dates. Those are each worth 18% of your grade for a total of 54%. In addition to that, there's no final exam in the course. What there is instead is a take-home paper, right? What I call the policy analysis paper, which is like a take-home final, last paper. There's more about that later on, and there'll be an assignment sheet and everything else. That paper is due at the time of the final exam, and it covers really the material in those last 3 chapters that you hadn't been tested on, but also draws upon things that we've talked about earlier. So in some sense, it's also cumulative. Again, more about that later on in the semester, but that's instead of a traditional final exam. So that's worth 22% of your grade. So the 3 exams, 54% total plus 22% for the final, for the policy paper. And then the weekly discussion forum and the homework are worth 12% each. That adds up to 100%. In addition to all of that, there will be opportunities for extra credit this semester, aside from the ones I mentioned. In my other job here on campus, I'm the director of the Institute for the Study of Political Economy. We bring speakers to campus. There will be at least 3 speakers coming this semester. So 3 opportunities for extra credit. If you attend those speakers and write a little something about them, I'll give you more explanation later on. Obviously, since some of you are distance learners or have other obligations, If you can't make it to the lectures, there'll be an optional reading and writing assignment that will allow you to pick up the extra credit as well. The extra credit is 1 full point added to, on a 100 scale, added to your grade at the end of the semester. Easy way to pick up a bonus point, and you'll learn something from some really, really terrific speakers who are coming this semester. Let me say one other thing about grades. There is or will be a curve in this class if need be. And the best way to think about the curve is the following. If the grades, say, on the first exam average out on the scale that's listed in the syllabus to something below, say, about a C, we'll need a curve, okay? Because the average grade in this class, at least last semester, was in the low C's. And I don't think there's any reason for it to be lower than that. And I'm happy to have it higher than that. So if it does average out, say, that first exam below a C, I will do 2 things. One, you'll get an email from me sort of indicating roughly where the letter grade would align with the 100-point scale. So if you got 65 in this exam, what would it be on the letter scale with a curve? But what I actually do is wait to the end of the semester till all the grades are in, and then look at the full grades for the course and see how they align with that 100-point scale in the syllabus. Then I apply the curve to that. So if you want to know where you're standing in the course, right? First of all, the Canvas grade calculator doesn't work very well for my purposes for a bunch of reasons. And one, because it doesn't account for that curve. So don't get all worried about that. That's not the thing to look at. If you want to know where you stand in the course, the best thing to do is email me, and I will give you as much detail as I can about where you stand, about what you need to do, about how your grades are lining up with the 100-point scale, whatever you need to know. Okay, happy to do that. It's not a burden. That's part of the obligation I have to you, given the way I grade the course. So the curve applies at the end, and last semester the final grade was about a C+ or so, and again, I'm happy for it to be higher. Great, but that's kind of where it was last semester. So again, I hope this is clear. It's explained in the syllabus. If it's not, write me about that and ask me to explain it to you. I'm happy to do that. So a few other miscellaneous things. First of all, you have to pay attention to your Canvas email. The way I communicate with all of you collectively is by sending emails through Canvas. It's clunky, it's not pretty, but it's the easiest way to get everybody at the same time. That's how you're going to find out information about the course. Sometimes I use announcements in Canvas, but mostly I send it through email. So please, please, please watch your Canvas email. If you miss something there, it's not an excuse. I sent it, it's there, it's your obligation to read it. So please read it. When you communicate back to me, it's fine to hit reply to that Canvas email. That's okay. It has some real advantages. It's clunky and ugly. Or use your regular BSU account. Please don't use your Hotmail, Gmail, AOL, anything else like that. It messes up the way I have to organize student email to make sure I don't miss any. And I'm more likely to miss an email from you if you use those other accounts. A couple other things you can do. First of all, in the subject header of the email, put Econ 202. I'm teaching Econ 116 online also. I get a lot of email from students. Knowing which course is which is helpful, especially earlier in the semester when I don't know names and I don't know who's in which course. The last thing that you can do is a matter of email etiquette. I know you love to text. I know you love to use all the other ways that you have of communicating with your friends. Email is still the formal way that people communicate in the business world and, frankly, in the academic world. So when you send emails to faculty, whether it's me or anyone else, a couple of things you should do. First of all, it's not a text. Don't write it like a text. Skip the LOLs and all that stuff. It should have some degree of formality, at least the first time you write to someone. Secondly, you should address us as Professor so-and-so, right? Not Mr. Horowitz, and if I were a woman, not Ms., and definitely not Miss or Mrs., right? Everyone's a professor. It's the easiest way to address us. Some of us are doctors, some of us aren't, some of us are this, some of it doesn't matter. Professor doesn't get you into any gender issues either. Just use professor. Dear Professor Horowitz, comma, write me. It also helps if you put your name at the end of the email. I know it should be in the subject header, but it's helpful for us, again, if your name's at the end. So thank you very much, your name. All right. If we get into a thread, you don't have to do that every time. I don't when I communicate with people by email. But the first time you write me about a particular topic, you should do that. And that's true of any professor here on campus. So please make our lives easier. Don't make us upset with you. Dear Professor so-and-so is the safest way to go. A couple of other important things. One, all of the exams in this course will be taken via Examity, which is a web-based exam proctoring software. Essentially, the way this works is you sign up for a time through them to commit to take the exam. They proctor you using your webcam and your microphone and speakers. In other words, someone's going to be watching you through a webcam while you take this exam. What that means is you must have a laptop or desktop computer that has a working webcam and microphone and speakers. If you don't have that, you can't take the exams in this course, and frankly, you can't take the course. Let me be clear, I hate this. I hate having to make you take exams this way, but we have true distance learners in the course who can't come to campus to take these exams, which means I can't give them in the labs on campus because they don't have that opportunity. This is the only way that's fair and equitable to every student in the course, gives them the same experience. I wouldn't want to take exams this way if I were students, and I get it that you guys don't like this. I get it. But I don't have a choice. It's BSU rules, and frankly, they make sense. It's the only fair way to treat everyone in the course. So check now. Make sure your webcam, microphone, speakers on a laptop or desktop are working. You can't use a tablet for this. So, and you also need a space you can use that you can sort of close the door and keep other people out. So a dorm room's fine as long as your roommate or roommates aren't there. So are study rooms in the library, anywhere that's private and enclosed. You can't take it in the middle of the library, right, or something like that. You can't take it at Starbucks, right? But you need the laptop, desktop, and you need the enclosed private space. Check that now. If you don't have it, get yourself a cheap webcam. Make sure it works. That's my immediate advice to you. Last thing. One of the things I ran into in this class and the other one recently is students who have trouble outside of class. There's something with their job or their family or whatever, and they stop doing the work in the class. They start falling behind. They don't tell me about it, and then they dig themselves a hole they can't get out of. Don't let that happen to you. If you're struggling with things out of class, it's really hard when you don't see me every 3 days or something, right? To sort of let me know. Let me know. Send me an email. I don't need to know the gory details. I just need to know the sort of general contours. You're having a struggle with this. We'll find a way to work with it. If it's legit and if it's at all possible, I'll find a way. I don't want you to blow yourself up in this class and fail because you had a problem that we could have worked with and you didn't tell me about it. Don't wait to the end of the semester to tell me, oh, well, I was struggling with this. That's why I didn't do well. No, tell me now. Tell me when it happens, right? And we'll work it out, all right, if at all possible. So please send me an email. Once again, I don't need to know all the details, just enough to know it's legit and to understand what we might do. So please, I mean that. Send me an email and let me know. I think that's everything. I hope it's everything. If not, send me an email and ask me questions. I think everything else you need to know is in the syllabus. Please read that right away and pay attention to it. It's available, obviously, online. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a good course. I taught it for the first time online last semester. I think I learned some things. I moved some things around. I'm going to do some different things. I think it'll be good. Hope you enjoy it. If you have problems or questions, write me. Let me know. Thanks, and enjoy yourselves.